All right, sweet. So I am going to talk a little bit about the marketing and sales mentality because I feel like when you're approaching marketing and sales, you need to think of it in a different way than you probably have been. Because when you look on Instagram and you look at other photographers and what they're doing, a lot of them are doing things that you likely don't need to be doing. So it's not good to model after someone else. And also it can be a little deceiving because when you look at these bigger photographers who already have clientele, they're just advertising saying like, hey, this is the session that I have. And then they just share some work with like a quick little caption of like the beauty of the trees or something like that. And yeah, they can get away with that because they already have a client base and they're not necessarily trying to reach new people. But as people who are starting a new business and trying to grow, it's really important for you to approach it in a different way. So when people think of the word marketing, they typically think of like advertisements and commercials, business cards. And some people think that they just need to tell people about what they offer and then people will just come to you. Build it and they will come. Well, that's a very false mentality to have. So I just wanted to talk about how you should think about marketing. So you should think about marketing like you're dating. Okay. You wouldn't ask someone to marry you on the first date, right? So why do you expect clients to buy from you when they see your IG for the first time? Like, or they see your website for the first time, or they hear about you for the first time. Now, there are some ways that people can come to you who haven't contacted you before, but they're already warmed up. And that's through word of mouth referrals. That's why it's so important for you to have like a referral incentive for your clients and give them some type of incentive for them to tell friends, because that is going to be so important. Marcus can attest to that because he's grown his business like that for many years. So there are three different kinds of leads that you need to be thinking about, and you have to be able to serve all three of them. Most people just want to, serve the hot leads, or like, hey, I want people who just want to book me and book me right now. And I will be honest, like as a photographer, I went I've had to check my ego a few times because um I was just like, I just want people to book me, like I don't want to have to do email marketing. I don't want to have to, you know, uh basically just warm them up. Like I want to book people who see my stuff and they're like, yes, you're my person. In which it's great when that happens, and that will happen because honestly, I've gotten a little spoiled over the years because it did happen to me so frequently, because I had created this brand that was very attractive to the right person. And the beautiful thing about it too is that I was attracting people who I love to work with. I was attracting clients who they want to enjoy their wedding day. And that sounds like a really like obvious thing, like of course you want to enjoy your wedding day, right? But it's not. It's actually much deeper than that. It's multi-layered. So really when people say that they want to enjoy their wedding day, some people say it but they don't really mean it because they're very focused on getting every single shot, and they have this like type A mentality of like, okay, well, I want to get this shot at this time and this shot at this time, and this has to happen at this time. And they make it about the photography. Those are not my people. I've worked with couples like that, and it wasn't an enjoyable experience for me. I mean, I still serve them the best of my capacity, but what I found was if I attracted those fun, like in the moment, love the candids, love just they just wanted to party. They just wanted to be with their people. Those are the brides that I love to work with because they make my job easy. They trust me. They let me do my thing. And so that's why having that magnet brand is so important. But anyways, let's talk about the three different kinds of leads. So you're going to get cold leads a lot of the time, and they've never seen you. They don't know you at all, and are seeing your content for the first time. Warm leads may have followed you for a while. They may have gotten a word of mouth referral. They're going to be warmer than a cold lead because they already have that trust factor because you've already worked, with one of their friends or family. And so they haven't booked you yet, but you still need to do a little bit more. You need to give them more content and more like okay, this is my experience before they book you. A hot lead gets on your page and they're like, yes, where's the inquiry button? By the way, your inquiry button and like contacting you should be the easiest thing ever. A third grader should be able to figure out how to contact you. Making it super easy is so important. So you have these 3 different kinds of leads. And the cold lead, if you are asking them to book you on their first impression of you, then you're basically asking them to marry you on the first date. You don't want to do that. So it's good to warm them up. Well, how do you do that? Okay. How do you warm up your leads? So here are the topics you need to be sharing, talking about on your IG, captions, emails, on your website, literally every single touch point that anyone can see you, see your work, see who you are, all of that. You're going to need to share your experience that you provide to your clients. A lot of you are still working on that because you're new. You're like, well, my experience is I'm taking photos. Well, yeah, you're taking photos, but you're doing more than that. Everyone's doing more than that. And it's up to you to like really laser in and be like, okay, what is the experience that I'm providing? What makes me different from other photographers? And so the details of the benefits of your service, like the outcome of your service, is really important to share as well. Who you are and why you do what you do. This is so important. Every single post I make that has my face, I guarantee you gets like triple the amount of likes. It gets triple the amount of engagement on social media. People want to know who you are. And like I've said like 1,000 times before, people buy from people, not from businesses. And that's why I also recommend having your name as your business, because it also personalizes and like humanizes your brand. If you were like family love photography, I mean, like, okay, family love photography, like, well, who are they? That's going to be your first question. Who are they? Okay, so your brand story. And once you get your brand story down, I know this can be kind of annoying in the beginning because you're like, I don't know my brand story. Like, what do I say? But once you get it nailed down, it's actually makes your life so much easier, and being able to communicate your value and communicate like why you do what you do, and also build that, like anchor that trust. And also sharing review and client testimonials as much and often as you can. It's a very simple thing to do. That's going to be huge, and warming up your leads to be able to transfer them from cold to hot. Okay, so let's talk about sales. So when you're talking about sales, like, okay, yeah, so someone reaches out to you, they have begun the sales process, they've entered the sales funnel, right? So once a lead contacts you, they enter your sales workflow. For me, my workflow consisted of a series of emails for a long time. I didn't get on the phone with a lot of my couples for years, because I was able to communicate everything that I needed to within the website and the emails and the social media. Like, they were able to get to know me without me having to get on the phone. But I also found that getting on the phone was super helpful, very valuable. So there's 2 schools of thought on that. Most people who book high-end clients have to get on the phone. I mean, you just need to get on the phone. If people are going to be spending, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, they want to get on the phone. And your job is to listen, diagnose, and treat. Now, when I say that, you're like, okay, well, I'm a doctor, but I'm a photographer. Like, how does that work? But the reality is you need to get to know them first. You need them to talk. You need to listen to them. You need to ask them questions. Like some questions that you can ask to investigate and really get down to what they are looking for is, what style of photography are you interested in? Have you had photography sessions in the past? How did it go? What fears do you have when it comes to photography? What are some things that, might be holding you back from booking a photography session? These are all really good questions for you to dive into what they are looking for and what could potentially be a barrier for them in booking you. Because then once you have all of that information, you're able to, really look at your brand and be like, okay, well, what are the solutions that I provide that can like cancel their fears? What are the solutions of the services that are going to make them feel at ease and make them feel heard. And also just repeating back to them what they said is so powerful. If you have any questions about the sales conversation script or anything like the topics, make sure to go back and look at another video. I posted another video about this specific topic, actually twice. We talked about this, I believe it was a week or so ago. But I just wanted to, make sure that you were aware. If you're only using email, you still need to be asking them questions. You still need to be diagnosing and treating them as if you were a doctor. So I would really recommend, if you're not going to get on the phone with them, use that selfie video of like introducing yourself, send them a questionnaire, get this information from them so that you don't, that you're not missing this key ingredient of the process. Because we want repeat clients. We want people who like fall in love with our brand, and also who might book us for a series of packages. If you're a family photographer, I highly recommend doing like a series of packages, not just one. And if you're a branding photographer, especially for businesses, like this is going to be huge too. Not just having like a one and done situation. If you feel like you're getting stuck, you need to ask yourself a few questions. Are you posting value to warm your leads up on your touch points? And when I say touch points, like I said, it's anything that your clients are able to see on the internet. Are you using your email list? This is a huge thing because the algorithm on social media does not allow you to see, or does not allow your audience to see every single post that you make. And emails kind of like, eliminate that barrier. Are you following up with your leads? That's huge. We sometimes get our feelings hurt. Like it's a dating thing, right? Like when we are dating and we're like, hey, do you like me? Do you want to book me? Oh, you don't? Okay, well, you're kind of ghosting me. I guess you don't really like me. That's not the case. A lot of times people are just busy. And if you follow up with them and they still don't respond, okay, sometimes it's just a matter of being a business. Some people are just going to ghost you, right? And you could even send them an email or text and be like, hey, I'm not sure if you got ate by a wild grizzly bears. Because after the second or third follow-up, you're not going to be, that they're not interested anymore. And that is okay. It's not a big deal. Like there are so many people out there who need your services. So I just want to encourage you that it happens to everyone. Just go ahead and move on. Don't spend too much of your time and effort following up with leads who are, after the second follow-up, I would say, let them go, unless it's like, okay, well, maybe they didn't see the email, then you might want to text them. But other than that, I would say 2 follow-ups is sufficient for sure. Does anyone have any questions about that? I think we're good. All right, so I'm gonna stop recording. Here we go.